Welcome to the Lila Life show. This is your host, Linda Andrews, and I'm here with an update for you. And I'm getting ready to relaunch the podcast, as I mentioned, meaning the interviews, and I'm committed to creating more content. So this is going uploaded to YouTube right away, and then it's rolling out on the podcast after the fact. So if you are following the YouTube channel, you get these videos as I make them, and I'm creating videos daily right now, and I'm really pumped about that. So I just got back from vacation. Me and my husband and our two doggies went camping, and we realized that our puppy is definitely still a puppy. And, thoughts and prayers go to everyone that were finding themselves in the west coast of Florida navigating that. There is so much turmoil in the world that I know that a natural disaster like a hurricane falls amidst many things going on at the planet in this moment, which leads me to what I'd like to share with you is a little story. Over the years, nature has become a huge part of my wellness practice, I guess you could say. Uh, the process of connecting, the process of feeling that connection to everything. Nature shows me that the perfect way is always unfolding, and it just teaches me so much. So we have an outdoor shower, and I can see up into this invasive tree. And people in South Florida hate this tree. It's called a Brazilian pepper tree, and it's an invasive non-native plant. And this tree is growing where I can see it in my neighbor's yard, and all I see are these bees going crazy. And I've gotten stung by bees twice within the past 3 months from this whole situation, and our dog even got stung by a bee. And I'm watching all these bees. And today I thought, wow, there's this, honey shortage and so many things that are connected to the biodiversity involving bees, which I am certainly not an expert in, but I have a broad understanding of that. And I was like, this invasive Brazilian pepper tree that's growing everywhere that has all these bees when we have a bee shortage. And this reminds me of nature's way. And, these things that are out of our control, like I couldn't design that any more perfectly than it is happening. And I find awe in just looking around and seeing that. So, something I'm contemplating, and I say this very sensitive to my own ignorance around geopolitics. I'm doing my best to educate myself. But I had this awakening a few months ago when I heard a stat, and I don't remember the exact stat. So this is all held lightly. But it was either 40 or 60% of people, I think it was 60 though, if the war came on their soil, they would flee. And I thought, wow, that's a really interesting statistic. And I cannot begin to understand the levels of war that exist on our planet. Truly, like to the full depths of whatever each of those aspects are, how deeply our different industries run, like it can just blow my mind to think about. But when I heard that stat, my just gut reaction was like, yeah, I want no part of that. And this reminds me in yoga of do no harm, ahimsa. And you hear this often used with, the vegan community, and often their reasoning for not wanting to eat animal products, it's do no harm. And I am not vegan, but I do my best to do plant-based and mindful sourcing as much as possible. And I think about that, the ahimsa, do no harm. So how conscious of a decision can I make? And when I think about the world, it's like, I just don't want to have any part of that. And again, that's a level of ignorance in my depth of industry. But I hope you can just understand that when you have that bodily response, and this is something I had to move through with myself, like, whoa, I want no part of that. And although I may not feel like I directly impact that happening on the planet, what I do feel like I have a direct impact with is every time in my own life that internal radar goes off that says, I want no part of that. And then acting and living from that place in alignment to that. So thanks for following with me from the bees and the trees into, this connection around war and nature. And I leave us with that around this question around war and nature. I'm exploring this question: is war just as much of a natural expression as peace and love is? Is this the polarity? Will there always be war? Just considering, like, what is it like to show up in my life with a commitment to harmony? And if that is done by all, quote unquote, I know this gets a little utopia, but just in theory here, what is the world like? And in my mind, I can't see a world that still has war when that's happening. So thank you for traveling with me on that. What else is going on? Making some major lifestyle shifts. So there's all these things that I've been doing some of the time, and I see this with my clients, and I'm like, whoa, it's time for that next level. And I do a lot of things every day, but there's the next level of my well-being and my effective productivity, all of it, that if I go to my next level, I can serve at a higher level. And so looking at what are the things that I'm doing some of the time that needs to be happening all of the time. Here we are right now having content being shared. This is an example of me showing up and choosing to do that all of the time. Waking up in the morning, I have this dream of getting up naturally at 4 a.m. and just hitting the day. And I don't know where this comes from. I'm asking myself, do I really want this? Like, where is that coming from? And I was watching a light translation podcast of some Renee Girard, which I'm not super familiar with, but just getting into, and they're talking about, I think, the mimetic philosophy or principle, and it's like all ideas come from something. And so for me, looking at where is this idea of waking up at 4 a.m. coming from? So I've set myself up for not success many times. I hit these streaks, sometimes for months, at least a month, and like different months, like a month here and then a month here, and then I just burn out. And I know I'm going at it. My acupuncturist said, like, give yourself these little 15-minute incremental changes. And I'm so kind to do that with other things. And so I'm applying that to the waking up in the morning. So, I don't know if you have anything in your life that's like your next level of wellness, your next level of well-being. But if you do have that, I'd love to know, and come along, join the ride with the content and the waking up in the morning. All right, going off of this, it's like those great habits that you can have. So something in my business that I'm doing now every day is a business review. And I would do this again some of the time, not all of the time. And I'm tracking three things: monthly recurring revenue, sales, and appointments set. And doing this every day, I have specific numbers for each of those that I'm aiming towards, and I can see the progress towards making that. So what I'm noticing for myself is that I had a lot of blocks around knowing my numbers, analytics, just doing some of the basics for running a business. And I'm just like, screw this, it's time to do it. And so I'm letting it be messy, just like this video. Like, I wish the video and the sound and everything is perfect. I was paying so much. Dear Courtney, she was such a great help. And I know I could have even been paying her more, but it's like all of this takes time, it takes energy, and to see and have that momentum going towards, the actual bottom lines and the growth of the business. So that's really exciting. The Lila Life Collective is up and running. So some of these topics that you get on the YouTube channel and that you enjoy, that you want to have explored more in depth inside the Lila Life Collective, which has integrative coaching, teachings, and practices, you can definitely do that. And yeah, it's fun. So go check that out. It's 22 days free. So if you need support in setting a good habit, this could also be a little bit of that support for you. So switching a little bit of business gears, I've been working towards gearing up to close my seed round for Lila Life. And what you may be wondering, would I spend this said money on? I would be spending it on marketing team and then marketing team and like product development. So great. And there's people that I need to hire to help me with that. And I really was like, I'm going to do this my seed round. It's going to be a $2 million seed round, which I still think is possible. And I've also been considering what would it be like to work with angel funds for, the next 6 months, the next 3 months, the next 12 months. And what I'm learning in the venture space is if you can orient to this 10xing, so if I can put in $100,000 into my company and then 10x that to have $1 million coming out at said period, getting in the practice of doing that, that's quite attractive to your investors. So just being very open to what the angel funding world could look like and staying open for that. I saw an interesting article today about like choosing the natural way to live as you age. It was this woman, she's famous actress from back in the day, and she was 75, and she has just always like explored alternative routes. And I was reflecting on my own journey with well-being and health and where it really started from. I do this sometimes, and it helps me orient to where I am from where I came from, and then continuously check in about where I'm going. So for me, a huge piece of this was related to college swimming. I was a college athlete. I had an injury. I was deep in depression, eating disorder during this time, a ton of alcohol abuse, and I was struggling. And so this like curiosity, this unabated curiosity for healing, it was like out of a necessity because of the brokenness and the wholing, right? Like the coming back into wholeness, into well-being. And it was a really long journey, right? That was from literally the time I don't know, I would even go as far to say 15. So this 20-year journey, that this curiosity of just like, what can I learn? How can I understand it? So much of it had to do with performance for swimming, to be a best swimmer that I could be, to make Olympic trials. And then as time goes on, this performing, it's like just showing up in life, doing my best job. And it's been a really beautiful process. It's been long, it's been hard, it's been so many different things. That's the lens and the frame. It's as a wellness expert of doing so many things over 20 years to, living it. And I hope you find that inspiring. I hope you find that knowing that like you don't have to have it perfect right now. You're in that feedback loop of what's working, what's not working, now what? And this reorients you in your life, in your business to have this success on your terms. So it's never too late. It's just going to be longer and longer and longer if you wait. So join me in these little videos, have a check-in with yourself. That would be my ultimate dream, is if you would just take a moment to journal a little bit, reflect on what's on your mind as you're hearing me speak, if there's any little pings that come through. And, I hope this is also interactive. So if there's something that I'm lightly brushing on or touching on, I'm tuning in, seeing what's going on in my life that I want to share with you and keep you in the loop and on the journey with. And there is just so much here. So yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent there with the other way. So we're going to just leave that. But the what I do want to share is that our team here is growing. I am really excited as I am putting into position funding. I am putting together my founding team. And so this has taken me years to get to this moment. And I'm very excited. I'm learning so much. I'm talking to different people, networking, seeing who's going to be a good fit, who can see the vision of Lila Life, who wants to have a digital presence and a physical presence and be able to really impact the world in interesting, thoughtful, well-being focused ways. So, stay tuned as you see things continue to get better here. You truly are at the very beginning of this journey with me. And if you have any introductions, you can reach out to me directly, linda@lilalife.co. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share, do all the things, and have an amazing, blessed day.